All right. Good morning, Desert Sands Educational Foundation community following us on Facebook, Twitter, and on YouTube. My name is Sean Webb. I'm the Director of Community Engagement and the Foundation for Desert Sands Unified School District. It is Thursday morning at 9 o'clock, and it's obviously time for Morning Coffee with Chef Mary. How you doing, Chef Mary?
Good morning, Mr. Webb. How are you?
I'm doing great. Ever since our conversation we had with Dr. Wilson and all those cars, I've been thinking about what could I do? What could I build?
I know. I even remembered when we had a Henry J. We lived in that era when, we were just car buffs and these things came around. And I thought, oh my gosh, I should have told Dr. Wilson about the Henry J. That was a trippy car in my 1959 Rambler, four-door.
I'm going to plead ignorance here. I don't even know what a Henry J is. Oh, geez, I'm sorry. So, Mary, I'm not sure if you caught it last night, but we had Bailey and Coffee, very similar to this format. And we had over 500 live viewers watching us at any one time.
Oh, my gosh.
And we did this really cool thing called the Thought Exchange. And I want to actually have that go across the bottom here. So if people still want to participate with it, pretty amazing. It's called Thought Exchange. And how it works is we pose a couple of questions. And then you go ahead and answer the questions. I'm sorry, you can pose some questions and some thoughts, and then it gives you stars to rate the other thoughts, to kind of rate what's your most concern about the opening of school and so forth.
Oh, I see.
Or your most concern about just anything in general that has to do with education. So I want to make sure that we point people out. We had 500 live viewers last night. We've got 5 right now, Mary.
Oh, my God.
And I know a lot of people end up coming back to watch this, as you know, but I'm going to have that going the whole time so people can definitely be part of that. It was pretty amazing. From the 500 live viewers and so forth, we had over 10,000 thoughts exchanged.
Oh, my God.
So people rating things, people putting up messages. So it was a really cool interactive thing. And how the software worked, Mary, is like as the major thoughts came about, they rose to the top. And then what we were able to do is say it was a question about educational needs. We brought in Dr. Kelly Mae Vollmer from Ed Services. We talked about custodial needs and cleaning the campuses. We brought in Mr. Aquino, who's in charge of business services. So it was a very interactive way.
Oh, that's awesome.
To be with the community. Now, this obviously we won't be able to interact back with doing it now, but we'll at least be able to see what the community is thinking about everything what's going on right now. So yeah, it was very exciting to see everybody participate.
What was the priority question?
The priority question was talking about the 2 models that we're going to offer, a hybrid model and potentially a virtual model for returning to school. With the governor's announcement yesterday, that kind of squashed it. I think, personally, it kind of squashed the idea of any thought of doing traditional school in my mind. But obviously the school board's going to make the decision. They're going to go from there. They had a board study session on Tuesday, and they actually have to make a decision by July 9th.
So, June. That's how I feel too. June.
Yeah, July 9th. So a lot of important things going to be coming up. And the beautiful thing is all of our board meetings are put on live too, so people can watch.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Some of our friends' kids are going off to college, and some of them are only online. One of our friends, their young man is actually going to the school, and they're going to have open campus, and he's going on campus to go to school in Nebraska.
Yeah, I know that different schools are doing different things and so forth.
Yeah.
Like I think I shared on Tuesday, my niece who plays high school basketball in Western New York in Victor Central Schools, who also uses Thought Exchange. It's kind of cool. But they played in a travel league basketball tournament in Pittsburgh this weekend. And my brother told me that he was allowed to go, 1 spectator per kid, and they all had to wear masks. The kids, obviously, if they're playing basketball, didn't have to.
Yeah.
And there were teams from all over the East Coast, so it's pretty amazing. But I know you're talking about education here, and we're talking about some talent. I'm really excited for you to meet this teacher that we have today, Chef Mary. I first met her a couple of years ago, just through some social function passing here and there. But then I really started following what she was doing in the classroom when her principal posted some great things in August this year. And I'm not going to talk about that. I want her to share about that, but I'm going to bring her on, and let's get Lacy on the call here, okay? All right. Good morning, Lacy.
Good morning, Lacy. How are you doing?
Good morning, you guys. I'm good. How are you?
Good.
We're doing well.
We have a little bit of static. I'm going to take myself off screen while you introduce yourself. Maybe it'll clean up. Maybe it'll clean up, and I'll put myself back up. So if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself, I go off screen.
Okay. Okay. Hi, I'm Lacy Klemann. I teach 5th grade at Gerald Ford Elementary. Yeah, I love and I'm excited to be on this morning and talk about what I've been doing with my transformation in my classroom. So.
Okay. Well, I know a lot more about you, Lacy. You have a lot more to share. Maybe you can talk about where you came from, your background a little bit.
Okay.
And I'm going to do the same thing and go off and come back on.
Okay. All right. So I'm originally from Washington State. Grew up in a very small town outside of Seattle, Washington. I went and got my early childhood education degree, and I've always known that I wanted to work with kids. And then after that, I applied to University of Washington and got accepted. So I went to get my psychology degree. And then after that, I got my master's in teaching with a dual endorsement in special ed and in gen ed. So, and then I went to a job fair up here in Tacoma. I don't know if you guys ever been to the big Tacoma Dome. Yep. And I just was like thrown in with a bunch of teachers that hungry to get a job. And I walked up to the Palm Desert booth and I was like, oh, my parents have a place down in Palm Desert. I've been coming down there for years. And they were like, oh, let's see what you have on your resume. And I had a special ed endorsement and they're like, well, how are you on the spot? I was like, okay. And it just spiraled from there. And I'm so glad I took the leap of faith. I moved my whole life. My dad's like, you're crazy. I'm like, no, I'm ready for this. I really am. So it took a little bit to get acclimated to the weather down there. I mean, the falls were really difficult just because like I'm pumpkin, cold, like sweaters. But I have to say it was the best decision of my entire life to take that leap of faith and to like move away out of my comfort zone. And I think that I've grown so much. And I've lived there for 4 years now. I started off in 4th grade and then I moved to special ed for 2 years. And this past year, I got a 5th grade position. And so, yeah, that's where I'm today.
Okay. Yeah. That is absolutely fantastic. And I believe Chef Mary has some connections in regards to 5th grade. Mary, why don't you share about your connections? I'm going to try and fix the connection here.
Okay. Well, my granddaughter was, and she's going to here. And I've got feedback too. So.
Actually, Mary, let me take you off real quick. I wonder if yeah, it's just getting a lot of feedback today. I'm so sorry, Lacy.
Oh, it's okay.
It's unfortunate. I'm going to bring Mary back.
Is that better? Yeah. No, I'm still getting feedback.
I'm not sure. There's sometimes, we're at the mercy of social media and everything. What I'll do is, Lacy, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to end the broadcast.
Okay.
And we email you guys each a new link. And we'll come back. In like 5 minutes.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. All right. We'll be right back. And for those watching, we'll be right back.